Hey, and welcome to today's conversation. I am your host, Deidre Sirianni, and I am really looking forward to diving into today's conversation. This week, you're gonna have 2 episodes dropping, as last week, I needed a week off to reset and recalibrate, as there are a lot of new things coming to the show, some pivots and some new announcements, some upcoming announcements of things to come in the next couple of weeks that I cannot wait to share with you. And I really needed that time to integrate. So thank you so much for being patient as this episode drops. All right, my friends, so today we're going to talk a little bit about speaking, the power of speaking on stages. You've probably heard me talk about this before, and I'm going to share a little bit about behind the scenes of what I'm doing as I prep for a speaking opportunity that's happening this weekend. So I'm going to give you a little bit about behind the scenes, how the whole conversation started, and some of the things that I have as non-negotiables when I am speaking on other people's stages. So if you are an entrepreneur, if you have a message on your heart, if you're someone who wants to be out there more, on more stages, have more visibility and all of those things, this conversation is for you. So a few months ago, I had someone reach out to me and say, hey, I would love to have you speak at this big conference for women in business. And I was like, oh, amazing. Like, I would love to. Tell me a little bit more about it. Of course, I love speaking to women. I love speaking on business, leadership, all of the things, right? Relationships. And she's like, we have a 15-minute slot. And I said, thank you so much for asking me to be a part of your event. It sounds amazing. I don't take on events. I don't take on speaking opportunities that are less than 30 minutes. And I said, so thanks again for thinking of me, but my minimum speaking slot is a 30-minute slot. Otherwise, it's just not really aligned for me. And the person came back, the organizer came back and said, well, we can move some things around for you. We'd love for you to speak. We can give you 30 minutes. I'm like, oh, okay. Now I'm more interested in hearing about the event. So when you are speaking on other people's stages, when you are stepping into thought leadership, when you're putting yourself out there, when you're growing your brand, when you're expanding, you get to say yes to the things that align for you and also say no to the things that aren't necessarily in alignment. I know for me, I don't like to feel like I'm rushed with my talk. I don't want to feel like I have to memorize every single line of what I'm here to say so that I get it in 15 minutes. Those types of talks stress me out and just do not align. And also, for bringing people into your business and really building that know, like, and trust factor and really connecting, you usually need like 20, 30 plus minutes to really deliver an incredible keynote talk. So it was great that they came back and they're like, no, we'd love to have you. So that was number one. The second thing was once I knew a little bit more, like, okay, I can speak for at least 30 minutes, I wanted to know a little bit more about the audience. When you're saying yes to speaking opportunities or putting yourself out there on stages, on podcasts, you want to know who the audience is, because if the audience isn't necessarily someone that is an aligned audience member for you, there's no real point of you speaking on the stage. I mean, of course, you might get some videos, you might get some photos and all those things, but really you want to be speaking to an audience that is your ideal client for the most part. So I asked a little bit about the audience, who they are, what they do, all the things, what they're excited about, and also a little bit about past events that they have hosted. Really good to do your research. The next thing I said is, I want to make sure a couple other non-negotiables that I have when I speak on stages, especially when I'm doing it without a cost, when I'm not charging a fee to speak, is I need to have a videographer there. I need to have someone who's going to be there, who's going to film my entire talk. The organizer said, well, we will have someone there that's doing short clips of some of the speakers, but I don't know if we have someone for the full speaking slot, if they're going to be able to video your entire talk. And I said, okay, well, that's one of my requirements if you'd like me to speak. Next thing you know, she comes back and she's like, girl, we got a videographer who's going to get your entire talk. So really, when you are being asked to speak on stages, when you're being asked to speak on platforms, you are in the driver's seat and you get to decide what your non-negotiables are. Sometimes it will align and the organizers and all of the people will have everything in place that's perfectly aligned with what you want. And sometimes it won't be. And you get to decide, is this worth me doing or is it not? So they're going to have a videographer and a photographer. And also I got the 30-minute slot, which I absolutely love. And then my next thing was, well, I'd love to sell my book at a table during your event. Absolutely no problem. So the reason I'm sharing this process with you is because I know a lot of the listeners are entrepreneurs and are impact-driven entrepreneurs who want to put themselves out there in a bigger way, who you might already be on stages, but maybe you're not making the type of impact that you want. Maybe you're not getting the type of experience that you want on stages, or you're not really converting the audience into clients. This is what I help people do inside my Speak, Impact, and Scale program, where we go quite a few layers deep on how to actually monetize your visibility every single time you are on stage. So this is a conversation I want to have with you around the negotiation phases of being on stages. So I am super excited this upcoming weekend. I'm speaking in front of 400 female entrepreneurs, and I am bringing a new talk to this space and how I am behind the scenes with my own process. I've been speaking on stages, for those of you that don't know, for over a decade, and I have spoken, all over the place, and I absolutely love it. Speaking is my favorite way to communicate, and also it's the fastest way to grow a movement-based business. It's the fastest way to grow your impact, your income, your brand without worrying about social media and all of the trends and the things that people are doing. If you want to stay off your phone as much as possible and grow a brand, you absolutely want to be speaking on stages and podcasts, and this is what I teach, again, inside of my program. If you want more information, just check out the link below and we can, have a conversation and go from there. But the next thing that I want to share a little bit about with you is my process of developing my core talk. So if you have a core talk, which I recommend every single speaker has, which is kind of like your signature talk that you're known for, is you want to have it in a way where every single moment of your talk what the audience might be thinking, what they might be feeling, when to pause, when they're going to laugh, when they're going to cry, all of those things. You essentially are someone who wants to know exactly how every moment of your talk is going to land for your listener, so that you are showing up fully and delivering an incredible talk. So for me, last week, about a week or so before the talk that I'm delivering, I did a bit of an audit. I did an audit on some of my most popular talks that I've done in the past. And I thought, because this is kind of like a self-love / business conference for women, I looked at some of my past talks that I did that converted really well, that people loved, where a lot of people were putting their hand up and wanting to go deeper. And it brought me back to an event that I did a few years ago on love. Like, the whole theme of the event that I was speaking on was about love, self-love, and all of that. And there were women and men. And my talk was called Awaken to Love. And the talk was on Awaken to Love, and it was very deep into the heart, into trauma, into patternings, programmings, all of that. And at the end of the talk, even though only 50 people were in the virtual audience, 40 of those 50 people reached out to me within about a minute or two of completing my talk. They opted into the invitation that I gave them. So 40 out of 50 people wanted to go deeper with me within about a minute of completing my talk, which showcases that it was a really freaking good talk, right? So if people are running to want to work with you or learn more about you right after you get on stage, that's a really good sign that it's a slam dunk. So I did some review of that talk, and I looked at the key stories that I told and how I want to connect it not only to, loving yourself and all of the things around self-love, healing, embodiment, all of the things that drive us to be the best version of ourselves, but also, how do I connect this to business? So I was reviewing past talks, and then I started to look at the main stories that I wanted to tell and the main teaching points. And then, of course, what do I want the audience to do after my talk? How do I want them to feel during my talk? What do I want them to think about? What do I want them to consider? What do I want them to feel on a deep level? What do I want them to reflect on? If you are speaking on platforms, a podcast, a stage, really anything, it's so important to ask yourself, what is the core message of this talk that I'm giving? What is the audience member going to walk away with? and what is the next step that I want them to take in their life, or to take this step towards deeper transformation. So this is the behind the scenes process of what I do with every single one of my talks. I have many different signature talks, and this is what I love helping people develop. It's so fun, and it's so fun having a talk and having a large percentage amount of the people after delivering a talk wanting to speak to you, buy your book, join your program, and work with you. It's so fun. So this is some of the process of what I'm doing in prep for it. This upcoming event is just in a few days, in about 4 days. So once I got my outfit together, got the outfit done, checked in with the organizer, got some slides together that are important for my talk, then it's just about having fun the day of. I'm gonna look over my talk a few times this week. I'll probably practice a little bit on Wednesday, so a few days before. Thursday, I'll review it. Friday, I might go over it a couple of times. And then Saturday, I'm gonna hit the ground running, do my warm-ups, show up, and deliver an incredible talk. And I cannot wait to meet this amazing community of women entrepreneurs. So I hope that this episode was beneficial. If you are someone who wants to make a bigger impact, if you are already on stages, but maybe your talks aren't landing, or people aren't joining your movement-based business in a big way after your talk, I guarantee that there are some things that are missing from your talk right now, or your overall strategy, that are holding you back from making a bigger impact, bigger income, and also feeling like you are really rocking your talk in a deeply transformational way. And again, if you want more information on that, you can always check the link below, and we can hop on a call. I can do a little bit of an audit on what's going on in your business and your talk and give you some feedback. And if my program's the right fit for you, then we can go from there. All right, my friend, I hope that you have a beautiful week. I am so excited for this upcoming talk, and I want you to consider some of these pieces for the next time that you're on stage, or if you are considering putting yourself on more stages and podcasts. How can I start to negotiate what I want with the organizer of the event that I'm speaking on? And really, what do I want my audience members to think, feel, and walk away with? This is so important. And I have to tell you, 80 to 90% of speakers on stages and podcasts have no idea, and they're just going with the wind. And this is why so many speakers and coaches and entrepreneurs are struggling in their business, because they have not built the foundations of really understanding how to properly articulate and connect with their audience, so that the audience is like, you are the person I want to work with and I want to go deeper with. So hope you enjoyed today's conversation. We have another great podcast episode coming up this week with my good friend, Dr. Sonia Jensen. So keep your eyes and ears open up for that in the next few days. And we have some really beautiful announcements coming up in the next couple of weeks as well, with some changes and some pivots to the show as I've gotten more clarity with where I want to go, where I want to focus, and what I want to dive more into. I really want to create this space to deliver that to you, and I can't wait to share more with you as well. All right, have a beautiful day, and sending you so much love. Mwah.